Hello, it is Sarah here with Yoga for Classrooms, and I am here today to debunk another myth that we sometimes hear, and that is that sometimes educators think they have to be experts in yoga to lead mindful moments, and that is certainly not true. So let's talk about it. We hear this misconception all the time. I'm not a yoga teacher. I've never been through yoga training. I don't even do yoga on my own, or I don't meditate. I certainly don't know enough to lead mindful moments with my students. But if you've ever had that thought, I want to reassure you. You do not have to be an expert to make a meaningful difference with your students. In fact, you don't need to be a yoga instructor, a mindfulness coach, have years of experience. You don't have to have a personal practice. You simply just need a willingness to learn, a willingness to try it out, and a willingness to pick up the card deck and read the script. That's why at Yoga for Classrooms, we always emphasize using the card, using the script on the back. It doesn't need to be memorized. I've been doing this work for 10 years and I still read the script on the back because that's what it's meant to be used for. So let's talk a little bit more about this myth and how we can make sure we understand that it's just a misconception. So, like I said, at Yoga for Classrooms, our goal is not to turn you into a yoga instructor. We do have many yoga instructors that go through our training, and that's wonderful. But that is not our goal. You do not have to be a yoga instructor. I myself, Sarah Kirk, the owner of Yoga for Classrooms, am not a yoga instructor. So you do not have to become a yoga instructor in order to successfully implement Yoga for Classrooms. Instead, our goal is just to give educators simple, practical regulation strategies that you can naturally weave into the school day. Okay, so we're not asking you to be a certified yoga instructor. We're just asking you to find time to naturally weave these mindful moments into the school day. And I said find time. We've already done a video about the myth of we don't have enough time for this. Because remember, here at Yoga for Classrooms, we're talking brief mindful moments. It can be 1 to 2 minutes. So it doesn't have to be a full-on yoga session like you might see a yoga instructor lead. We are talking about taking that one deep breath before a test or a 30-second seated sequence after recess of just kind of getting our muscles ready to sit and learn for the rest of the day. It's helping students notice how they're feeling before learning. We're trying to increase that learning readiness. So it's that noticing, which is what mindfulness is all about. So again, these mindful moments don't require extensive expertise. They just require intention on your part and your intention of weaving these mindful moments into the day. One other thing I want to emphasize is that what we do here at Yoga for Classrooms is we model the process. So you don't tell students you're an expert. You say, let's take a deep breath together. Let's do this together. What I hear from educators all the time is, I needed the mindful moment as much as my students did, which is so true. So you're modeling to them that you are feeling dysregulated and you need a moment. That is so powerful for them to hear that. When we say something like, class, I'm feeling a little stressed today. So I'm going to do a breathing activity with us all to start the day. And you pull a let's breathe activity. Gosh, that is not only modeling that we all feel that way sometimes, it's normalizing that, but then it's modeling a successful tool to use when we're feeling that way. So when students see our trusted adults using these tools, they're going to learn that self-regulation really is a lifelong skill. It's not something we master once and never need again. It's something we get to carry with us forever, which is one of the huge benefits of Yoga for Classrooms and of mindful moments. And then lastly, I want to emphasize that we really encourage progress over perfection, right? So we're not expecting perfection from you as the adult or from the students. We aren't going to do it perfect every time. We're not going to get it right every mindful moment. Sometimes we might breathe in the wrong spot or pick our right leg up instead of our left, all those things that, of course, are going to happen. And that's okay. We're just trying to make progress. We're not worried about perfection. And our students see that too. They're watching to see if we're creating a classroom where it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to pause and to reset. That authenticity is far more important than any expertise. So, once again, you certainly do not have to be a yoga instructor. You do not have to have formal training to implement impactful and effective mindful moments. We want to model real life what this looks like. We want to emphasize progress over perfection. And we just want to start with those brief mindful moments. And we're going to all see how impactful they can be. So you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to be willing to take that first step, pull a card, lead a mindful moment, and notice how big of a difference you see both within yourself and your students when we do this. So, thank you for the work you do every day to support your students' well being, to support your own well being, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.